The security alert came through at 2:47 p.m. on a Friday. No sound, no vibration. Just a red notification flashing across my laptop screen. Biometric safe, unauthorized access attempt, home office. I was sitting in a conference room in Boston, 300 miles from my Manhattan penthouse, watching my supervisor, Nathan Reeves, point at a projection screen covered in wire transfer diagrams. We were tracking $47 million through 14 shell companies that eventually led to 3 commercial real estate developments in Miami. The money had started in Sinaloa, Mexico. This is what I do. I'm a forensic accountant. I follow money that doesn't want to be found. I didn't gasp. I didn't interrupt. I simply closed my laptop, stood, and excused myself to the hallway. Nathan barely glanced up. He was used to me slipping out for emergency calls. The moment the door clicked shut, I pulled out my phone and opened the secure app connected to my home security system, military-grade encryption, motion sensors, facial recognition cameras, and a biometric safe hidden behind a false panel in my office, requiring both my fingerprint and a 16-digit code to open. Someone was trying to bypass it. The camera feed loaded, crystal clear, 4K resolution. Standing in my living room holding an industrial thermal cutting tool was my sister, Seraphine. She wore white jeans and a silk blouse, casual designer, the kind that cost more than most people's rent. Blonde hair pulled back, she looked calm, focused, not panicked like a burglar who'd triggered an alarm. She walked straight to my office, no hesitation. She knew exactly where she was going. I watched her press the thermal tool against the safe's lock mechanism. 4 seconds. The magnesium coil burned through the steel pins. The safe door swung open. She reached inside and pulled out a brushed metal drive about the size of a deck of cards. To someone who didn't know better, it looked like a cryptocurrency wallet. Seraphine held it up to the camera. She smiled, not guilty, not apologetic, triumphant. Then she mouthed 2 words. Found it. My blood went cold. That drive wasn't a cryptocurrency wallet. It was an encrypted backup of case files from the Sinaloa investigation, files I should never have taken out of the office. I'd created them 6 months ago after our company database had a security breach, keeping them in a Faraday cage inside that biometric safe, thinking they'd be safer than on potentially compromised servers. I'd been wrong. And now, my sister had just walked out with active evidence in a federal money laundering case. I called her immediately. My hands shook, but my voice came out steady. Flat, the voice I used when briefing executives about fraud charges. She answered on the second ring. "Oh, hey Nina, I was just about to call you. Get out of my apartment, right now. Step away from the safe." Silence. Then her voice shifted, still light but with an edge. "I tried calling earlier, but you never answer. Mom said you wouldn't mind if I borrowed some of your old crypto stuff. Blake and I need $200,000 for the venue deposit by Monday, or we lose the Hamptons estate." Blake, her fiancé, trust fund kid who claimed to work in venture capital but mostly posted photos of himself at charity galas. "Seraphine, that's not cryptocurrency. That's encrypted case data. Put it back and leave. Now." "Nina, don't be dramatic." She laughed, that tinkling sound I'd heard 1,000 times, usually right before she got her way. "You have so much money just sitting around doing nothing. You don't even care about nice things. I need this for my wedding. It's my special day. That device contains work materials you cannot access. Put it back." A pause. When she spoke again, the playfulness was gone. "You know what I think, Nina? I think you've been lying to us." Her voice turned cold, calculated. "Mom and I did some digging. We went through your desk last month when you were in D.C. We found the documents, Sentinel Security Solutions, contracts with the FBI, field operation reports." My heart stopped. "We know you're not just an IT consultant," Seraphine continued. "We know you investigate financial crimes, work with federal agents, track criminals. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to tell me how to unlock this drive. Or I'm going to post everything we found about your real job online, your clients, your network, your methods. You'll be compromised. Your career will be over." You're blackmailing me. I'm asking my sister for help." Her voice softened, taking on that wounded quality she'd perfected over 28 years. "Why are you being so difficult? This is my wedding, Nina, the most important day of my life. Just help me with this, and we can both move on." "Seraphine, I have to go. The engagement party is tomorrow at 6. We can figure everything out then." "Oh, and Nina, don't do anything stupid. I've set up automated emails with everything we found. If I don't cancel them by Sunday night, they go out automatically, to everyone." The call ended. I stood in the hallway, phone pressed to my ear, listening to dead air. This was a nightmare, not just because my sister had stolen federal materials, not just because she was blackmailing me, but because I had created this vulnerability in the first place. I'd violated protocol. I'd kept that backup at home. And now, everything, my career, my license, possibly my freedom, was at risk. I grew up invisible in the Waverly family. That's the best way to describe it. Not neglected, not abused, just unseen. My parents, Lionel and Camille, weren't bad people. They provided for us, paid for good schools, showed up to important events. But from the moment Seraphine was born, 4 years after me, the dynamic shifted. She was the golden child. Beautiful, charismatic, effortlessly charming. By 6 years old, she could work a room better than most adults. I was the serious one, the quiet one, the one who did homework without being asked and never caused trouble. My parents appreciated that I was low maintenance, but appreciation isn't attention. I learned early that survival meant becoming invisible. I learned to move quietly, read rooms, anticipate needs before they were spoken. I learned to listen through closed doors, watch body language, identify lies before they were spoken. Being invisible gave me power. When you're the person nobody notices, you see everything. I took those skills to college, got degrees in accounting and forensic accounting. Sentinel Security Solutions recruited me right out of grad school. They wanted someone who could disappear into corporate offices and find hidden money trails without drawing attention. I was perfect for it. My family still doesn't understand what I do. To them, I'm Nina the IT consultant. Boring, reliable, not particularly successful compared to Seraphine's 2.5 million Instagram followers and lifestyle brand deals. They have no idea I've helped dismantle money laundering operations in 4 countries, that I've testified before grand juries, that I've traced cocaine profits through legitimate businesses and watched criminal empires crumble because I found one inconsistent wire transfer. I kept my work secret for good reason. Forensic investigators make enemies, the kind with resources and motivation to hurt people. But more than that, I kept it secret because I didn't want my family knowing I was successful, because once they knew, they'd find a way to use it, to take from it. I was right to be paranoid. 2 years ago, Seraphine came to me panicking. The IRS had sent her a letter. She'd failed to report over $400,000 in sponsorship income. She'd spent it all, on clothes, trips, her apartment, without setting aside anything for taxes. She was facing an audit, possibly criminal charges for tax evasion. She cried. She begged. She promised she'd never ask for anything again if I just helped her this one time. I helped her. I used my skills to create amended returns, establish payment plans, navigate the IRS system. I probably saved her from prison. She never really thanked me. A week later, she went back to posting photos of designer handbags and calling me her responsible sister, in a tone that made responsibility sound like a character flaw. I realized then that to Seraphine, I wasn't a person. I was a resource, a utility she could turn on when needed and ignore the rest of the time. I should have learned my lesson, but families are complicated. We want to believe blood means something, that if we just do enough, give enough, sacrifice enough, our families will finally see us, value us, love us the way we deserve. It's a beautiful lie, and a dangerous one. I called Nathan from my car. "Nathan, I need advice, off the record." "What's wrong?" "I made a mistake. 6 months ago, after the database breach, I created an encrypted backup of the Sinaloa case files. I kept it at home, in a biometric safe with a Faraday cage." Silence. Then, Jesus, Nina. I know. Where is it now? My sister broke into my apartment and stole it. She thinks it's a cryptocurrency wallet. She's trying to blackmail me into giving her access. Your sister? Your family knows what you do? They found documents when they went through my things. They've been planning this. You need to report this immediately. Call Victoria Hayes at the FBI. That drive is evidence. If your sister tries to access it, I know what happens. But Nathan, if I report this, I'm finished. I've violated protocol. I'll lose my license, probably face charges. If you don't report it, you become an accessory. You'll lose more than your license. You'll lose your freedom. I closed my eyes. He was right. There's another option, I said slowly. The engagement party is tomorrow, 6 p.m. in the Hamptons. She'll have the drive there. If I can recover it before she tries to access it, before anyone else knows it was compromised. That's a terrible idea. But possible. Nina, I need to try. If I can get it back, we can contain this as a family matter. If I can't, I'll report everything, but I need to try first. Nathan was quiet. You have until Sunday night. If that drive isn't secured by then, you call Hayes, no matter what. Understood? Understood. And Nina, your family doesn't deserve your protection. Not after this. I ended the call. Nathan was wrong about one thing. This wasn't about protecting my family. This was about protecting myself. If I reported the breach now, my career would be over before I had a chance to fix it. But if I could recover that drive quietly, make this go away without federal involvement, maybe I could salvage something. It was a long shot, but I'd built my career on finding things people tried to hide. Time to find out if I was as good as I thought I was. I made one more call. Agent Victoria Hayes, FBI liaison on the Sinaloa case. Hayes, this is Nina Waverly from Sentinel. I need to flag a potential situation. Go ahead. I created an encrypted backup of case materials 6 months ago, home storage. It may have been compromised. I don't have confirmation yet, but I wanted to give you advance notice in case we need to activate security protocols. May have been compromised? Nina, what exactly does that mean? I'm investigating. I'll have a full report by Monday morning. If there's been a breach, you need to report immediately. That's not optional. I understand. I'm working to verify now. I'll know more in 24 hours. Hayes didn't sound happy. Monday morning, 9 a.m. I want a full debrief. If you're not in my office with that drive, I'm assuming you're compromised. Clear? Clear. I hung up. The clock was official now. 36 hours to recover the drive or everything I'd built would collapse. I pointed my car south and started driving. The GPS estimated 3.5 hours to East Hampton. I'd arrive right as the party started, right when Seraphine would be at her most confident, surrounded by guests and admirers, showing off her perfect engagement and perfect life. She thought she'd won. She thought she'd finally gotten something over on her boring, invisible older sister. She had no idea what was coming. The sun was setting when I reached the Hamptons. The sky streaked orange and pink, reflecting off the ocean. The Waverly Summer Estate sat on 12 acres with a private beach. White tents glowed on the lawn. String lights sparkled in the growing darkness. I could hear music, a string quartet playing something classical and expensive. I parked my black SUV on the grass, ignoring the valet's confused expression. This wasn't the luxury sedan or sports car that usually showed up at Waverly events. Just a utilitarian truck that looked like it could survive an apocalypse. I stepped out and smoothed my black sheath dress. Simple, elegant, unremarkable. My mother would hate it. I could feel the weight of my phone in my clutch, the security feed app still running. The drive was inside that tent, somewhere on the property. Close. I walked across the lawn toward the music and laughter and the hundreds of people who had no idea they were about to witness a family implode. Seraphine was in there, celebrating, triumphant. She thought this was her victory party. She was wrong. This was her reckoning. And I was done being invisible. The first person to intercept me was my mother. Camille Waverly materialized from a cluster of guests like a heat-seeking missile, her coral dress billowing as she speed-walked across the lawn. She was 62 but maintained the kind of appearance that required monthly trips to Manhattan for maintenance. Her smile was bright and brittle. "Nina," not a greeting, an accusation. "You're late. Traffic from Boston." Her eyes swept over me, cataloging every disappointing detail. The simple black dress, the minimal jewelry, the flat shoes. Black. To an engagement party. Really? It's what I had. You couldn't have stopped somewhere? Bought something appropriate? She lowered her voice, glancing back at the tent to make sure no one was watching. People are going to think you're upset about the engagement, that you're trying to make a statement. I'm not trying to make any statement, Mom. Well, you're making one anyway. She gripped my elbow, steering me toward the tent. Try to smile. Seraphine has been so stressed about tonight. The last thing she needs is you sulking in the corner. I let her guide me. Easier than arguing. And I needed to get inside anyway. Needed to locate the drive. The tent was enormous, holding at least 200 guests. White fabric draped from the ceiling. Crystal chandeliers somehow suspended from tent poles, round tables with elaborate centerpieces, white roses, eucalyptus, candles that probably cost more than my monthly car payment. I scanned the room. There, the head table on a raised platform at the far end. Seraphine sat in the center, Blake beside her, both of them glowing in the golden light. Bridesmaids flanked them in matching blush-colored dresses. And there, on the table next to Seraphine's champagne glass, was the drive. She'd placed it like a trophy, like a symbol of her victory. My chest tightened. "Nina!" I turned. My father was approaching, scotch in hand, his face already flushed from alcohol and heat. Lionel Waverly was 65, tall, broad-shouldered, with silver hair and the kind of confidence that came from never being told no. "You made it," he said, not sounding particularly happy about it. "Listen, your mother mentioned you might be upset about the borrowing situation. The theft situation." His expression hardened. "Don't be dramatic. Family helps family. That's how this works. You have more than enough. You always have. Your mother and I made sure both our girls had opportunities. Seraphine knows how to use hers. You." He trailed off, the implication clear. I'd wasted mine. Squandered my potential by choosing a boring career and a boring life. "Seraphine broke into my apartment," I said quietly. "She bypassed a biometric safe. She took something that doesn't belong to her. That's not borrowing. That's burglary. It's family money." He waved his hand dismissively. "Everything in this family is shared. We all contribute. We all support each other. Why are you being so difficult about this?" This was the enmeshment. The toxic belief that individual boundaries didn't exist in families, that my apartment was their apartment, my money was their money, my possessions were family resources to be redistributed as they saw fit. "Dad, that drive contains—" "I don't want to hear about your computer stuff, Nina. It's Friday night. Your sister is celebrating. Can't you just be happy for her, for once?" For once. As if I'd spent my life raining on Seraphine's parades instead of being the invisible support system that kept this family functioning. "Where is she?" I asked. "She's busy. Important people are here. Blake's family. Old money, Nina. Real connections. Try to mingle. Network. It might help your career." He walked away before I could respond, already spotting someone more important to talk to. I stood alone in the center of a party celebrating my sister's engagement, surrounded by 200 people who didn't know I existed, holding a champagne flute I didn't remember picking up. This was my life. This had always been my life. The invisible daughter. I made my way toward the head table, weaving through clusters of guests. Influencer types, perfect hair, perfect makeup, taking photos of everything. Blake's friends, prep school polished, laughing too loud at jokes that weren't funny. Business associates of my father's in expensive suits, talking about market trends and property values. And then I noticed him. Douglas Hartwell. He was standing near the bar talking to a younger man I didn't recognize. Hartwell was one of my father's business partners, commercial real estate development in Miami and Las Vegas. I knew this because I'd seen his name in the case files. Hartwell Development LLC had received wire transfers totaling $12 million from a shell company called Pinnacle Ventures International. Pinnacle had received money from 3 other shell companies, which had received money from 2 cryptocurrency exchanges, which had received money from cartels in Mexico. It was classic layering, moving dirty money through so many legitimate-looking transactions that the original source became impossible to trace. Except I'd traced it. Hartwell probably didn't even know the money was dirty. That's how these operations worked. They found legitimate businessmen with legitimate projects and offered them investment capital at attractive rates. The businessmen took the money, built their buildings, and never questioned where it came from. But if the investigation went public, if arrests started happening, Hartwell would be implicated. And so would anyone who'd done business with him, like my father. My stomach dropped. I looked around the room with new eyes. How many of these business associates were connected to the case? How many of them had taken money from the same sources? "Nina!" I turned. Seraphine was walking toward me, arms outstretched, smile blazing. She wore a white cocktail dress that probably cost $5,000. Her blonde hair cascaded in perfect waves. She looked like she'd stepped out of a bridal magazine. She hugged me. The embrace was tight, theatrical, meant to be seen by the 100 guests now watching us. "You made it!" she said loudly. "Everyone, this is my amazing sister Nina. She's been so generous helping with wedding costs." Polite applause. People smiling, nodding, thinking I was the benevolent benefactor, the good sister. Seraphine leaned in close, her mouth near my ear. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "Smile and wave, Nina, or I send the emails." I pulled back, still smiling. To anyone watching, we looked like 2 sisters having a warm reunion. "We need to talk," I said quietly, privately. "Of course," Seraphine beamed at the room. "Sister bonding time. Girls, excuse us for a minute." She linked her arm through mine and guided me toward the edge of the tent, into a quiet corner near the entrance to the house. The string quartet provided cover, their music masking our conversation. The moment we were out of earshot, Seraphine's smile vanished. "What are you doing here, Nina? I told you we'd figure this out at the party. I didn't mean interrupt everything and make demands. Give me the drive, right now, before this gets worse." "Worse?" she laughed. "I'm having the best night of my life. How could it possibly get worse?" "You stole federal evidence, Seraphine. Evidence from an active investigation. If you try to access that drive, if you even turn it on, the encryption will trigger location broadcasts. People will come looking for it. Dangerous people." Her eyes narrowed. "You're bluffing, trying to scare me." "I'm trying to protect you, which is more than you deserve, considering you're blackmailing me." "Blackmail?" She said the word like it was ridiculous. "I'm asking my sister for help. That's what families do. They help each other. Families don't break into each other's homes. They don't steal. They don't threaten to destroy each other's careers. You have the resources to help me." Her voice rose slightly, emotion bleeding through. "You've always had it easy, Nina. You got the scholarships, the fancy degrees, the high-paying job. Meanwhile, I'm out here every single day performing, building a brand, managing sponsors, dealing with constant criticism and competition. Do you know how exhausting that is? So you decided to rob me? I decided to take what I needed because you wouldn't give it voluntarily." She stepped closer, her voice dropping back to a harsh whisper. 2 years ago, I made one mistake with taxes, and you held it over my head ever since, acting like you're so generous, like you saved me, but you loved it, didn't you? You loved being the smart one for once, the one with power." I stared at her. This was the victim mentality Nathan had warned me about. Seraphine genuinely believed she was justified, that I owed her, that taking from me wasn't theft but fair redistribution. "I helped you because you're my sister," I said. "I covered for you because I thought you'd learn. But you didn't learn anything. You just learned that I'd clean up your messes. And you'll clean up this one too." Her smile returned, cold and confident. "Because you can't afford not to. If I go down, I'm taking you with me. Those emails go out, your career is over. Your clients will drop you. The FBI will question how compromised you really are. You'll never work in forensics again. Seraphine, I need $200,000, Nina. You unlock that drive, give me access to whatever accounts are on it, and we both walk away happy. You keep your precious career, I get my wedding venue, everyone wins. There are no accounts on that drive. It's encrypted case data. You cannot access it. And even if you could, using it would make you an accessory to money laundering. She rolled her eyes. You're still trying to scare me. Fine, don't help. But when those emails go out Monday morning, don't come crying to me. She turned to walk away. Wait! She paused, looking back over her shoulder. I made a decision. Maybe the wrong one, but I was out of options. The drive contains financial data about money laundering operations, I said, including information about some of Dad's business associates. If you activate it, if you try to access it, you won't just compromise my investigation. You'll compromise his business partners, people like Douglas Hartwell. Seraphine's expression flickered. What are you talking about? Hartwell is being investigated for accepting laundered cartel money. So are several other people at this party. Dad's done business with them. If this becomes public, he could be implicated too. You're lying. I'm not. And you involving yourself by stealing that drive means you're now connected to it too. When the FBI comes asking questions, and they will, you'll have to explain why you broke into my apartment and stole evidence. For the first time, I saw uncertainty in her eyes. You're investigating Dad's friends? Your own family's connections? I don't choose the targets. I follow the money. The money led to people in Dad's circle. I didn't know until tonight how close it was. Then destroy the drive. Her voice was sharp now. If it's going to hurt Dad, destroy it. Make it go away. I can't. It's evidence in a federal case. Other people have copies. This investigation is happening whether I'm involved or not. But by taking that drive, you've put yourself in the middle of it. She was quiet for a long moment. Then, so what do I do? Give it back. Now. Let me return it before anyone else knows it was missing. I'll handle the fallout. You walk away. And my venue deposit. Find another way, legal way. I'll loan you the money myself if I have to. She studied me, weighing her options. For a second, I thought she might actually do it, might actually hand it over and end this nightmare. Then her expression hardened. No, I don't believe you. This is just another manipulation, another way for you to control me. She stepped back. You're not going to help me? Fine, but you're not going to stop me either. That drive stays with me until Monday. If you try to take it, if you do anything, the emails go out immediately. Understood? She walked away before I could respond, disappearing back into the crowd of guests. I stood frozen. She wasn't going to return it. She was going to keep holding it hostage until Monday, thinking she could leverage it for money. She had no idea she was sitting on a ticking time bomb. I pulled out my phone and stepped into the garden, away from the noise. Victoria Hayes answered on the second ring. Nina, I thought I wasn't hearing from you until Monday. The situation is confirmed. The drive was stolen by my sister. She's at the engagement party right now, refusing to return it. She thinks it's a cryptocurrency wallet. Jesus Christ, location? East Hampton, the Waverly Estate. There are 200 guests here. My parents, my sister's fiancé, business associates of my father who may have connections to the case. Connections? Douglas Hartwell is here. Several others whose names I've seen in the files. I don't think they know they're under investigation, but if this becomes public, it's about to become very public. We're mobilizing a team now. ETA 90 minutes. Can you secure the device until we arrive? I'll try. But Hayes, my family doesn't know what they're involved in. My father does business with these people. If you come in with agents, it's going to destroy them. They destroyed themselves by associating with money launderers. And your sister destroyed herself by stealing federal evidence. You did the right thing calling this in. It doesn't feel right. It never does, but it's right. Sit tight. Don't engage unless you have to. We'll handle it. She hung up. I stood in the garden, phone in hand, knowing I'd just set something in motion that couldn't be stopped. In 90 minutes, federal agents would arrive. They'd detain Seraphine, question my parents, interrogate guests. This party would turn into an investigation, and my family would never forgive me. I went back inside. The party had reached its peak. Guests were dancing now, champagne flowing, laughter echoing off the tent walls. Blake was giving a speech about how he knew the moment he met Seraphine that she was special, that she was the one. Seraphine sat at the head table, glowing, one hand holding Blake's, the other resting protectively near the drive. She caught my eye across the room, smiled, mouthed, "Your choice." I checked my watch. 85 minutes until the FBI arrived. I moved through the crowd, positioning myself near the head table, close enough to act if I needed to. My phone was in my clutch, the security app still running. I'd activated the drive's tracking beacon when I called Hayes, standard protocol for compromised materials. A small red dot now pulsed on the FBI's grid, marking this exact location. They were coming, and there was nothing anyone could do to stop it. "Ladies and gentlemen!" Blake tapped his glass, calling for attention. "Before we continue celebrating, I have a special video to share, the story of how Seraphine and I met." The lights dimmed, screens flickered to life around the tent. Blake must have set up a whole AV system. A montage began playing, photos of Blake and Seraphine, their first date, vacations, events. But I wasn't watching the romantic moments. I was watching the backgrounds. Douglas Hartwell appeared in 3 different frames. At a charity gala, a golf outing, a restaurant, then another face. Vincent Castellano, a person of interest in the cartel case, suspected of being the U.S. connection for placement operations. He was in a photo with Blake's father, both of them laughing, holding drinks at what looked like a yacht party. My blood ran cold. This wasn't coincidence. Blake's family wasn't just old money venture capital. They were connected to the same network I'd been investigating. And through Seraphine's engagement, through my father's business relationship with Hartwell, our entire family was about to become collateral damage. I pulled out my phone, took photos of the screens. Evidence. I'd need it later. The video ended. Applause erupted. Blake pulled Seraphine to her feet, kissing her as cameras flashed. I checked my watch again. 70 minutes. The tent entrance opened. 3 men in dark suits entered, scanning the room. Not FBI. Too early. But they moved like security. Professional. Alert. One of them made eye contact with Douglas Hartwell. A subtle nod. Something was wrong. I moved closer, angling to overhear their conversation. "Need to leave now," one of the security men was saying quietly to Hartwell. "Situation's developed. Cars waiting." Hartwell's face went pale. "Are you sure?" "Confirmed. They're mobilizing. We have maybe an hour." They knew. Somehow they knew the FBI was coming. Hartwell made his apologies to my father, something about an emergency business call, and left quickly. 3 other men, all people I'd recognized from case files, followed within minutes. They were fleeing before the FBI arrived. I needed to update Hayes. I stepped outside again, phone to my ear. "Hayes, we have a problem. Several subjects just left. They know you're coming. Someone tipped them off." "That's impossible. We haven't briefed anyone outside the core team." "Then there's a leak, or they're monitoring for exactly this kind of mobilization. Either way, they're running." "Can you identify who left?" I rattled off names. Hayes swore. "Those are all targets. If they scatter now, it'll take months to round them up again. How much time do we have?" "They said an hour, so you probably have 45 minutes before they're completely gone." "We're pushing it. ETA 40 minutes. Nina, I need you to do something." "What?" "Keep your sister at that party, no matter what. If she tries to leave with that drive, we lose our leverage. The drive is the only physical evidence at that location. Everything else is digital and can be scrubbed. We need it." "How am I supposed to stop her from leaving?" "I don't know. You're smart. Figure it out. Just keep her there." The call ended. I went back inside. Seraphine was standing now, talking to her bridesmaids, laughing about something. The drive was no longer on the table. My heart dropped. I scanned the room. There, she had a small clutch, designer, probably cost $1,000. The drive would fit inside. She was planning to leave with it. I pushed through the crowd. Seraphine. She turned, smile still in place. Nina, enjoying the party? We need to talk. Now. I think we've talked enough. She started to turn away. I grabbed her wrist, not hard, but firm enough to stop her. Let go of me, she hissed. Give me the drive. Are you insane? You're making a scene. People were starting to stare. I'm trying to protect you, I said quietly. One last time, give me the drive and walk away from this. Please. No. She yanked her arm free. I'm done being told what to do by you. You don't control me anymore. She picked up her clutch, and that's when I made my decision. I had 38 minutes before the FBI arrived, and Seraphine was about to walk out with the only physical evidence. So I did the only thing I could do. I stopped protecting her. I stepped back, pulled out my phone, and opened the tracking app. I tapped one button. A high-pitched tone, almost ultrasonic, emitted from my phone. It was answered immediately by a matching tone from inside Seraphine's clutch, the drive's active beacon. Everyone heard it. The room went quiet, heads turning toward the sound. What is that? Seraphine opened her clutch, pulling out the drive. The tone was coming from it. That's the FBI's tracking signal, I said, loud enough for everyone to hear. You've been holding stolen federal evidence, and you just activated it. Her face went white. I gave you chances, I continued. Multiple chances. You chose this. The tent entrance burst open. Victoria Hayes strode in, badge held high, 6 agents behind her. Federal agents! Nobody move! All hell broke loose. The FBI didn't burst in with flashbangs or tactical gear. What happened was worse, more clinical, more devastating. Victoria Hayes walked calmly to the center of the tent, badge held at shoulder height. 6 agents fanned out behind her, professional and efficient. No weapons drawn, no shouting. Just quiet, unstoppable authority. I'm Special Agent Victoria Hayes with the FBI. We're executing a federal warrant related to stolen evidence. The music stopped. 200 guests stood frozen, phones already recording everything. Hayes walked directly to Seraphine. Seraphine Waverly, I need you to hand over the device you're holding. My sister's hand trembled. This is a mistake. It's just cryptocurrency. It's encrypted case data from an active federal investigation. You removed it from a secured location. That's theft of federal materials. Hayes gestured to 2 agents. Please come with us for questioning. No, Nina, tell them. Seraphine's voice cracked. Tell them this is a misunderstanding. I said nothing. Nina, please. A female agent stepped forward. Ms. Waverly, we can do this easy or difficult. Seraphine's legs buckled. The agent caught her, guided her to a chair. No handcuffs yet, just calm, relentless procedure. My mother rushed forward. That's my daughter! You can't— Ma'am, step back. Another agent intercepted Camille. We'll need to speak with you as well. Hayes approached my father. Mr. Waverly, we have questions about your business relationship with Douglas Hartwell and several other individuals who left this venue 30 minutes ago. Am I being arrested? Not at this time, but we need your cooperation. Blake appeared at Seraphine's side. I'm calling my lawyer. Hayes glanced at him. Blake Ashford? We'll need to speak with you as well. Your family's venture capital firm has some interesting investment patterns. Blake's face went gray. The tent descended into chaos. Guests fleeing, others recording, security powerless. Hayes found me in the crowd. Outside, now! In the garden, she turned on me. That was reckless, activating the beacon in front of 200 witnesses. She was leaving with it. You said keep her here. You're suspended effective immediately. Review board will want to know why you kept that backup at home. Why you waited until she was at a party to activate the beacon. I understand. Hayes studied me. I've seen this before. Good investigators trying to protect family members involved in crimes. It never ends well. You think you can manage it, contain it. But all you can do is choose between your career and your family. I chose my career. Did you? Or did you choose to destroy your family in the most public way possible? I had no answer. Go home. Don't contact anyone. A lawyer will reach out about your hearing. I drove back to Manhattan alone. The next 3 weeks were lawyers, statements, and silence. Seraphine was charged with burglary, theft of federal materials, and obstruction. Bail set at $500,000. My parents mortgaged the Hamptons estate to pay it. She was released with an ankle monitor. No contact with me. No leaving the state. Lionel and Camille were questioned for 18 hours. No charges yet, but their business dealings were under investigation. Douglas Hartwell was arrested in Florida trying to board a flight to the Cayman Islands. Blake's family was under scrutiny. The engagement was quietly called off. My disciplinary hearing was scheduled. I hired Martin Reeves, a lawyer specializing in protocol violations. You're losing your license for a while, Martin said. Question is, how long? 6 months to 3 years, depending on how the board sees your intent. I reported it within 24 hours. After trying to recover it yourself first. They'll ask why you didn't call the FBI immediately. I had no good answer. Nathan took me to lunch. How are you holding up? My mother left a voicemail. Said I destroyed them, that I chose strangers over family. Classic deflection. You didn't destroy them. They destroyed themselves. Then why does it feel wrong? Because you're grieving the family you wished you had, but that family never existed. The people who raised you were never going to see you. You were useful when they needed something fixed, invisible the rest of the time. She was my sister. Past tense. She made her choices. Now you make yours. 6 weeks later, Seraphine's preliminary hearing. I had to testify about bail conditions. The courtroom was packed. Seraphine had become a social media spectacle, the influencer arrested at her own engagement party. I took the stand. Ms. Waverly, describe your relationship with the defendant. She's my sister, 4 years younger. We grew up together. Was it close? No. I was functionally invisible to her unless she needed something. The prosecutor walked me through the theft, the phone call, the blackmail. Did you tell her what the drive contained? Yes, repeatedly. I told her it was case data from a federal investigation, that accessing it would trigger security protocols. She didn't believe me. Why not? Because she'd spent her entire life getting what she wanted by refusing to believe anyone who told her no. Cross-examination was brutal. You previously helped your sister with legal troubles, correct? Tax issues 2 years ago, once. But this time, you had her arrested instead. This time, she committed a federal crime. You kept those materials at home in violation of protocol, didn't you? Yes. And I'm facing disciplinary proceedings. I'm accepting consequences. My sister hasn't accepted consequences for anything in her life. The lawyer leaned in. If the court releases your sister on bail, would you feel safe? I looked at Seraphine. She stared back, eyes red, makeup smudged. She looked broken, but also angry. No, because she hasn't accepted responsibility. She still sees herself as the victim. People who view consequences as persecution don't stop. They escalate. The judge denied bail modification. Outside, my mother confronted me. Are you happy now? Your sister is in jail. You've destroyed this family. It was already broken, Mom. If you'd just helped her, none of this would have happened. And in 6 months, she'd need more. Eventually, she'd cross a line I couldn't protect her from. She'll never forgive you. I know. I can live with that. Guess. 6 months later, the board suspended my license for 18 months. Mandatory ethics training, 2 years probation after reinstatement. I accepted without appeal. During suspension, I consulted for white-collar defense firms, helping companies investigate internal fraud. Different work. I found I liked it. Seraphine took a plea deal. 3 years federal prison, 5 years probation. Mandatory therapy. She sent me a letter before sentencing. Nina, I hate you. I hate what you did to me. Everything I built is gone. My followers, my sponsors, Blake, all of it. But the therapist says I need to take responsibility, that I made choices, that I can't blame you for consequences I created. I don't know if I believe that yet, But I'm trying. Maybe you were right. Maybe I needed to figure out who I am without the spotlight. I've been performing my whole life. I don't forgive you. But maybe someday I'll understand. I folded the letter, put it in a drawer. I didn't hate my sister. I didn't love her either, not anymore. I'd let go of the desperate need for her approval. I'd mourned the family I wanted and accepted the family I'd had. And then I'd walked away. So, my new office was small, 10th floor, midtown. No federal contracts, just clean corporate work. A photo on my desk, my forensic accounting class from grad school, the people who'd believed in me. Nathan stopped by sometimes. Victoria Hayes sent a card when my license was restored early. Good work. I dated someone, a lawyer named Sarah who understood complicated families. I lived in a smaller apartment, sold the penthouse. Too many ghosts. On Friday evenings, I walked through Central Park and watched people live their lives. I was 33 years old. I'd lost my family, my spotless record, 18 months of my career, but I'd found something else. Myself. Not the invisible daughter, not the fixer, not the ghost who haunted her own life, just Nina, a forensic accountant who followed money trails and told the truth, even when it hurt, especially when it hurt. I opened my laptop. New case file. A pharmaceutical company suspected embezzlement. They needed someone to trace the money. This is what I did. This is who I was. I started typing.